Hey you guys, welcome back to Angel Angela, and on this topic I wanted to talk to you guys about how the narcissist imagination runs wild. The narcissist, you guys, their imaginations run wild. This is someone that will, lie about their identity. They'll target people in your family, your group, your children. This is someone who will imagine, bad things happening to you to get what they want. When the narcissist imagination runs wild, they will literally put a disguise right in front of you. They'll have you feeling like this person doesn't have a reason to lie, but their imagination is running wild. The narcissist, you guys, they're constantly thinking. They're constantly analyzing situations, over-analyzing situations. A lot of times they're going to want to know information about you right away. They're going to make you feel obligated to answer certain questions. They're going to want to know things about you quickly. They're going to want to hang out with you quickly. They're going to say, hey, when do you get off of work? Let's hang out today, right away. Their imagination is running wild and they need to know everything as much as they can. This is why a lot of times, I don't know if you guys have noticed, like certain people will pull away from you because they're expecting you to kiss up to them. They're expecting you to always want to keep up with them, or they want to be able to keep up with you. And when they know they can't do these things, they feel like you don't like them. They'll still chase you, but it's only to bring you down. A lot of times, this is how you became someone that was over-analyzing everything, because a lot of times you were just living your life and then these people came into your life, made you question your own reality, your own sanity, made you question who you are, told you who you are, and it almost felt like you were just constantly being attacked. This person claimed they wanted certain things, but then you're just feeling attacked. Why? Because their imagination is running wild. And then when they see that you're getting emotional because they cannot tap into your emotions, now they're over analyzing your emotions to fit the narrative that they believe, whatever it is. So you can be telling this person you're hurt, and in their mind, their imagination is running wild. It's like, how did I get this person to behave this way? All I did was, tell them these things about them that aren't true, but that are lies, because I'm constantly over-analyzing things. So I'm constantly saying things that I know aren't true, but I just need you to confirm it to me that it's not true. I just need you to confirm it to me, but because you're crying, it makes me feel like it's true. And if you tell me that you're hurting because of how I'm treating you, I can't see how I'm treating you. So to me, you crying, telling me that you're hurting, I almost feel like you're not really serious. I almost feel like you're just making that up because you want some type of attention and you're trying to make me the bad guy. See, that's what you're trying to do. And you're like, no, I'm hurting. Narcissist, you're hurting me. The narcissist is over-analyzing the fact that you're trying to force them to feel or understand what you're feeling. So their imagination runs wild once again. Now, not only do they feel like, they were able to rise above you because they feel like they must be right about you. Even if they're wrong, they feel like I must be right because my imagination is running wild. But now if you continue that behavior of allowing this person to love bomb you and ignore everything, ignore what they've done, said, you're ignoring the gaslighting. They basically believe, they're over analyzing everything, and they're telling themselves, okay, I must be right. This person's still around me. Why would you want to be around someone you don't like? They must like me. They must be obsessed with me. They must be obsessed with me. They must look up to me because they're still around. You're literally trying to give them another chance because you see the kid in them, and you're kind of like, maybe if I keep hanging around and keep teaching this person love, they'll understand. But their imagination is actually running wild. Now they're thinking, why would you think that about me? What gives you that impression? That's not true. That's not true, Jack. And now they're like, you must be jealous of me. Their imagination runs wild. This is why when they don't know someone and they haven't broken someone down, even if that person is evil to them, you'll think to yourself, why are you around someone that's evil to you instead of me, that I've been nothing but nice to you? And that's because they don't know who you are. They can't see you. They can't see your spirit. No matter how much you show it, they're blinded by it. They're blinded by it. But this person over here, they're not falling for their manipulation. Even if that person is in the wrong, even if that person doesn't think logically, even if that person is a downgrade in your eyes, that person's not going for the narcissist stuff, or that person's calling out the narcissist on their stuff, or they're projecting back onto the narcissist what the narcissist is projecting to them. So it becomes more of a challenge to the narcissist because their imagination is running wild. So to them, it's like, okay, I can't figure you out. You just treated me bad, but I can't figure you out. That just threw me off. And they're predators. They don't connect emotionally. So a lot of times when you give in emotionally, they back away because it's scary to them. It's scary to them. To them, it's like, oh no, that's scary. That's me getting into a commitment that I don't want to be a part of. But at the same time, I don't want to be alone because my imagination is running wild and it's hard for me to do anything. So they need the empath around because of the fact that their imagination is running wild, and because when they find a new supply that they're targeting and they're on predator mode, they're not thinking emotionally. They're thinking, I want to have sex with that new supply. I want to go out with that new supply. I wonder what that new supply is doing. I wonder if they're sleeping with another guy. Maybe they're talking to someone else and not just me, just like I'm talking to someone else. Their imagination is running wild. It's running wild. That's why you'll see that they'll shut you off because they're used to you, or they feel like you're always going to be there. Even if you tell me I'm going to miss a good thing. And even if you tell me these things, I don't really believe you. I don't believe that because you've always said that and took me back. So it doesn't really matter to me. So to them, they're not connecting, to you emotionally. They don't care what you've done for them. They don't care the time. They don't care if they were, in and out of your life, They don't care if they were dog walking you all over the place. To them, it's like, I sniff out something new. To them, it's like, I smell a new target. To them, it's like, my imagination is running wild thinking of what can be, the new life I can have with this person, a new start. I can be like them. They're so mesmerized even by the supply. That person might, be attractive, but they're evil, they're wicked, but the narcissist doesn't care because it's all about how they look. It's all about how they look. They're looking at other narcissists and they're looking at, oh, look, narcissist friends. Look, flying monkeys, you guys are jealous of me, aren't you? I know you guys are jealous of me. Their imagination is running wild. Their friends aren't jealous of them. People aren't in a competition, but they're in a secret competition. Now they're posting things online. Their imagination is running wild. They're like, oh my God, I wish, or I'm hoping that my last supply is looking at my page right now because they'll be so mad. They'll be pissed. Their imagination is running wild. A lot of times, things that they say and do, the reason they're able to behave. See, if the narcissist didn't have the empaths that they've been with to help them calm down, to give them supply, they would probably be walking around the street raping people. And that's because their imagination is running wild. Because if you dress a certain way, the narcissist is thinking you're dressing like that because you're trying to seduce men like me. If you're dressing like that, that means that you're trying to seduce a man like me, a predator. You got you a predator, but now they're chasing you. They found you on the internet. Now you've ran into them in person. Now they're going to places they know you're going to be at. Their imagination is already running wild. They're thinking you're going to be mine. They don't even know you. They don't know how you talk. They don't know your personality. They don't know your wisdom. They don't care about that. They don't care about your finances. They don't care about none of that. They've been following you. They're a predator. They don't care about none of that. Their imagination is running wild. I'm going to get that person. I know that I'm a great guy. I know that I'm a great catch. I know that every woman wants me. Their imagination just starts running wild. And you'll be looking at them like, no, not everyone does. Or you'll go somewhere and the narcissist will be like, you saw how everyone was looking at me? And you're like, no. And even to the point where, if they come around people from the LGBT community, they'll say, I'm not part of the LGBT community, but I think all of those guys like me. I think all of those girls like me. I don't know why I feel like everyone likes me. They think and what's so crazy is that if you tell them, right? If you tell them everyone does not like you, if you burst their bubble, they'll wake up for a split second and it depends. If they don't respect you, they'll say that you're jealous of them. But see, if they respect your opinion, your status, and you say this to them, it crushes them. Because they're seeing themselves as a reflection. They're reflecting. They see you as a reflection of them while you're with them. And when you're sitting there and you don't go along with what they say, and you're like, no, that girl wasn't looking at you. It's all in your head. She's not even paying attention to you. And then, boom, matter of fact, she has a boyfriend. The narcissist is thinking, that doesn't mean anything. She still wants me. They still go back into that imaginational thinking. She looked at me. She probably cheats on him all the time. The delusional thinking keeps coming. It doesn't stop. They overanalyze literally every single thing. Sometimes they're right. Because even as an empath, if you start overanalyzing things, sometimes you'll be right. But they have this imaginational thinking that's almost scary. And because they can't connect to people's emotions and they're not emotional beings, they can't connect to people in a way where, they're trying to see that person's perspective, right? They don't care about your feelings. They only care about their own feelings and their own needs. So this predator is basically saying, this is my plans with this person, or this is how they feel about me. And if you burst that predator's bubble and you're like, no, that's not what it is, and you give them proof, a part of them is looking at you, and it's like they snap out of that reality for a second, and they're thinking, maybe that person's right. Maybe that girl, she wasn't checking me out. Maybe you were right about that. Maybe I am over. Okay. All right. I'll give you that. Let's move on to a different subject. Now they want to move on to a different subject because their magical thinking, it's going from one thought to another quickly. They don't want to talk about this anymore because if they're not right, it's not interesting to them. So now they're cutting you off like, okay, let's move to let's take it to another subject. And in their mind, while you're talking about something, they're thinking about what you just said to them. And they're thinking to themselves, that person's crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. I know that girl was checking me out. So this is someone that you can't snap them out of that imaginational world. They'll snap out of it, right? Or at least it seems like they snapped out of it and they're understanding what you're saying. They're understanding your point of view. But because they feel like it's their world, it's like your point of view doesn't matter even if it makes sense. Only my point of view matters. I like that you told me your point of view, because now if I run across people with your point of view, I'll be able to manipulate them. So they're all about stealing people's personality, their traits. They overanalyze people's emotions. They overanalyze people's reactions. And then when they play the victim, they already know what they're going to do, what they're going to say to make themselves sound like a victim, because they're going to go through they're going to overanalyze all the people that they've played who were grieving to them about the loss of finding out that this person was wearing a mask and they weren't who they really said that they were. And the narcissist looked at them directly. They came to that conclusion together. So to them, it's like, it's fair game now. If you want to play this game, okay, now you know what's going on, okay? But are you willing to play the game? Okay, you know the rules. Okay, you know the ins and outs. Okay, you have all this information, but who cares? Because now it's time to play dirty. I'm always thinking about the next move to make. I've been making these. I've been playing this game for a long time. Like welcome everyone. Now guess what? I don't feel like I have to wear that mask anymore with you, but I'm going to be wearing it with other people. That's what you don't know. So while you're sitting here getting mad, now I'm going to antagonize you, get you to burn up your energy while I cool off, and maybe even the flying monkeys, fight people off for me. The narcissist knows that game because once upon a time, they were the ones who were defending people too. So they feel like they're an empath. They feel like, I learned this game and I know how people are and how people switch on you and how you can defend people, and they're not really loyal to you. So to the narcissist, they learn certain things in life. And because they don't have empathy, there can't be any remorse for you. You know what I'm saying? So you can go through situations just like the narcissist, but the narcissist will always react different. To them, the fact that you empathize with certain people, it's weakness to them. And even if you were to empathize with them, to the narcissist, that's weakness too. Because the narcissist, they don't trust anyone. They can't see past themselves, and who they truly are. They've lost their identity. So they identify through people. And that's why they usually tend to use victims and basically recreate how they feel through victims. So when they're recreating how they're feeling, to them, it's like, I'm not really a bad person. I just wanted you to feel what I'm feeling because this is how I feel. You're asking me what's wrong. why my mood is changing. You're asking me why I can't change these habits. You're telling me to change myself. Now that you're feeling down and out, and now you're over analyzing who I am as a person, and people are telling you to leave me alone, and you've gotten so many hints and signs, why can't you leave? The same reason you can't leave is the same reason I can't stop my behavior. I'm not going to stop my behavior until you stop, because you're feeding into my world and what and who I am. So narcissists will always, there's always going to be things that are running through that person's, head. They're always going to be paying attention to your breathing, how you walk, how you talk, any stories, any information. If you're just giving away all your cards, they're paying attention to that. They're like, you're giving away all your cards. That's a reason to do something to you. You're dressing a certain way. That's a reason for me to do something to you, because you're wearing that for me. You're sitting here talking to me about your ex and how you don't like your ex and he's treating you bad, and you're crying on my shoulder and you think I'm your friend because I'm being nice to you. But I'm a predator. I'm not an emotional person. So yeah, you can talk to me and keep going and going and going. But the whole time you're talking, I'm not really listening. I'm just like, whoa, this girl talks a lot. I'm not really listening. I'm just like, whoa, you talk a lot. And they're just thinking about their own needs. They're only thinking about what they want. And then they'll blurt out and say something way off that has nothing to do with what you guys were just talking about. It's like it went out one ear out the other. Or they act like they care about what you're saying. They pretend like they care. And in the back of their mind, they're thinking, she's talking to me about this guy. I can't wait till she gets over him. Hopefully she'll use me to get over him. Or she doesn't really like him. I think she really wants to leave him, and that's why she's my friend. She says I'm her friend, but I think she really likes me. I think that she's just waiting for me to make the move. But she knows about my girlfriend and who I live with, or my wife, or she knows about my situation. So maybe it's not the right time for us to be together right now, because she has to be all the way out with this guy before I can be all the way out with my wife. So they're thinking ahead, and you're not even thinking that. You really think this is your guy friend. You really think but they're not thinking. They're not emotional people. You're thinking they're emotional because they're agreeing with you. They're like, oh, your boyfriend does that? That's crazy. I would never do that. But in the back of their head, they're thinking, that's the same thing I be doing. That's the same thing I do. But I'm not going to let you know that, because you trust me. You feel like you can share things with me because I'm acting empathetic towards you. I'm faking empathy. Narcissists fake empathy with people. They're studying your empathy. They understand your empathy. They don't get it. It's strange to them. It's like a foreign language, because they're always thinking about things, and to them, they're always trying to move ahead. They're always trying to find something new. So they don't understand how people can be stuck into their emotions or keep trying to put effort into people. They don't understand that. So to them, it's like, if you let me do it so many times, then what makes it a difference what's the difference if I do it 20 more times? What's the difference if I start treating you worse and I start getting physical? What's the difference? It doesn't matter. I've been treating you bad the whole time. It doesn't matter the different ways that I'm doing it, And to them, it's like, because of their own, there's times where they feel like they have, certain weaknesses too, but they're only thinking of themselves during those weaknesses. This is why if you're going through something, it's not going to be the same. Their reaction, their demeanor is going to be different. because to them it's like it doesn't really matter what you're going through. This person is literally, they can just literally wake up. The narcissist can literally wake up one day and say, this is the kind of life I want. These are the type of friends I want. I want to be a part of this group. I want to be a part of these type of friends. They'll study those people. They'll study those people's friends. They'll study those people's families, and then they'll go in. And then now they're playing roles according to what that character seems like that character is. And as much as they can get that character to speak, the more they can get out of that character. And sometimes they do realize that their perception on people is wrong, and then they'll just change it into a new character. But that new character it's still going to end the same, because they're going to be used anyway. They're going to be used for something, for admiration, connections, praise, status, whatever it is. A lot of times this is why they get ahead of themselves and certain people notice. And then when certain people don't want to be around them, or they're trying to protect their family or their friendships, because they start seeing that delusional thinking, or they start seeing that the narcissist is thinking ahead, and now they're giving that person their plans. And people will look at them like, I never said I wanted to go in business with you. I never said I wanted it. Like, you'll just start looking at them crazy because you can't believe they're so straightforward. But this is why sometimes sometimes they can exploit people, because someone can literally say, I'm looking for a new business partner, and they'll take that opportunity because their imagination is always running wild, and their imagination is going to tell them, you could do it. You're smarter. You're just as smart as all these guys because you're friends with them, even though you don't know nothing about nothing. You'll learn as you go. That's why certain narcissists can sometimes climb up the ladder, but it doesn't mean that they'll stay up the ladder, because a lot of times they'll do things that don't have, which show that they don't have integrity. Like, if they make the narcissist the boss, of course there's going to be male-female interactions at the office, and everyone's in a good mood, and certain people are married, certain people are not, and you're going to see all kinds of different supplies in there. But the narcissist will feel like every woman at the job, because he's the boss, likes him. That's just going to be his natural thought. It's, I got a car, so every woman likes me because of my car. It's going to attract them. The narcissists, they want to rape you, but they're really like, oh, I know I can't rape you because I get in trouble. I don't have any emotions. I'll do it because that's what you want me to do. They'll make up stories in their head, but then they'll tell themselves, that's not right. That's not like the moral thing to do. I can get in trouble for stuff like that. That's for lower grade narcissists. That's some lower grade stuff. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this nice, shiny new toy. And this is going to attract you. The narcissist is always thinking of things. Their imagination is always running wild. Their imagination runs wild. As soon as they get that car, they're thinking, when they're driving, they're thinking, every girl's staring at me because of my car. Now they're pulling over. You're walking on the street, they're pulling over. Hey, you need a ride? I know you want a ride. I know you're a gold digger. You want a ride? I know I don't care who you are. They'll talk to you like you're some type of streetwalker, and you'll be looking at them like, no, I don't get in the car with strangers. Well, can I get your number? Are you sure you don't need a ride? In their mind, it's like, okay, now you gave me your number. Yeah, you do like me. Yeah, you're just scared to get in the car. You're just scared. So their imagination is constantly it's constantly going wild. Their imagination is constantly running wild. They think and a lot of times people use flattery to get ahead in life, or they try to be gracious. The narcissist, instead of them seeing that you're trying to respect yourself, to them it's like you're being soft-spoken because you want me, you like me. I see the way you look at me. I see that little spark in your eye. And you'll be looking at them like, no. And it's kind of sickening. Once you know how narcissists are, it's kind of sickening because you realize, like, you almost don't understand why you were dealing with certain narcissists in your life. Like, you're almost kind of shocked that you were dealing with a crazy person that's always lying, that's constantly lying. And because their imagination runs wild and they tell lies, they have to make up another lie for that lie. Or if they do something to you, if their imagination runs wild and someone says, oh no, this person tried to do something to me, their imagination is running wild. They think I like them when I don't like them, like they made a move on me. The narcissist will just flip it. No, you made a move on me. If you caught them cheating, their imagination is gonna run wild, and they're gonna tell people, no, she cheated on me. And it's like, it doesn't matter if you tell them in front of other people that they're lying. Their imagination is running wild, and their imagination is saying it's your word against mine. They might feel like, hey, there's a new employee at work. Maybe I'm going to get fired because they hired someone new. So their imagination will run wild, and they'll create drama around the workplace so that people can target that new person. And sometimes, it's basically they're almost making this battle where they're getting all the employees to also feel the same way they feel. So now everyone's attacking that person. And basically, if you let all these narcissists defeat you, you're not going to make it. They'll try to get you to talk bad about people because they know that that's all they do at work. So to them, it's like, let me get you to talk bad about someone so that when I do it, it's okay for me to do it. But I'm going to get you in trouble because I want to see if you'll rat me out once I get you in trouble. Their imagination is constantly running wild. You're getting a promotion. Now they're mad. Their imagination is running wild. You must be sleeping with your boss. You must be doing something. You're probably getting ready to leave me. So I'm going to go and find someone else and show you that I don't care about your status, because now I have someone else who's lower than you. This is why when they get caught, they were, a lot of times they blame shift to you, and they're like, you were sleeping with your boss. You have a secret boyfriend. You flirt with your coworker. They'll just start making up things because they're trying to justify their actions. And then because they're already so far out, there's no going back to them. This is why sometimes when they do you wrong to the point where they know, they took it too far, sometimes they won't come back because they know they took it too far. Because they're always thinking, and then now they're thinking, you're after me. You're trying to get me back. What makes the narcissist a narcissist is not only that they will drop the mask, but they will change the mask. And they will tell you, well, that's what I thought was going on. I've already changed the mask. I can't go back to that old mask. If I do, it's only going to be for a little bit because I have a whole new character now. I have a new role to play. And their imagination is saying, this person's going to discover that I'm not who I am, so I have to destroy them because I'm not going to feel good with myself knowing that they're bashing me and they're saying all these things about me and they're trying to make me look like the bad guy. So if I'm going to be the bad guy anyway, because all I wanted was supply, I just, I'm like a little teenage kid looking for that first, sexual relationship, and I don't care about feelings. It's just I want to go third base, fourth base, home run, right? So to them, it's like, it's your word against mine. You better have proof. Oh, and this is why by the time you wake up and you're like trying to get proof or you're trying to fight back, they already have so much proof and things, because they already knew one day you were going to realize that they cannot emotionally understand you the way you want them to. So they already know that, a lot of times they know that you might even become revengeful. Even if you say, oh no, I'm not a revengeful person. They've heard that many times and they've seen people get angry and do things. So even if you say I wouldn't do it, they've already seen it. And to them, it's like, that's why I have to hurt you. They're almost hurting you because of other people that have tried to seek justice against what they've done. Even though the narcissist is the one that did stuff, to them, they're always expecting the worst of you. This is why their imagination is always running wild. And this is why they never fully trust anyone that they're around. This is why a lot of times, people tell you that they'll treat other people worse because that anger inside of them grows. So to them, when they're abusing someone, it doesn't really seem that bad to them, because in their eyes, they're getting even from the last relationship. It's like, I'm getting even, I'm getting back. I'm getting back for all those bad relationships that I created, the bad karma, the bad name that I made for myself. And they're trying to clear their name doing the same thing over and over again. That's insane. But the narcissist has this magical thinking, and they keep telling themselves, that's not insane, that's just how I am, because they've just done so much and they've just lied so much. You get me? A lot of times the narcissist imagination is running wild, and this is why when people are bringing them out of that delusional world, so if you're a woman and someone is bringing you out of that delusional world, like, hey, life is not necessarily like a fairy tale like it is on movies, right? People go through ups and downs. It's not happily ever after. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of layers to relationships, unions with people, right? That person, might deny the truth that you're telling them. You're telling them some truth, and their imagination is running wild, and they're thinking to themselves, oh, dang, I did a lot of the things that now I get what you're saying could be wrong. Now those things are starting to bother me because you're making me see a part of myself that I don't like, meaning that you're making me see that it's almost like you're teaching them something. They're analyzing the empath. They learn something and they realize what they're doing wrong, but they're only going to realize that to manipulate more. You're thinking it's going to be so that they can learn to not get themselves in trouble, and they're thinking, oh, okay, that's all I got to do to not get myself in trouble. Okay, I'll do it. I'm not going to change, but I'll do it. But when it's certain situations that they can't come back from, they're almost in shock. So their imagination runs wild, and their imagination is telling them, don't think about all the things you've done. Don't think about all the things you did when you were younger and you were out trolling around with men that you knew were married or things like that. Their imagination is running wild. They're thinking about the things that they've done because now they're experiencing it themselves. You know what I'm saying? They're experiencing it themselves now. And now their imagination is running wild, and it's telling them, to block that out, that's not what's happening to them. They're ignoring it. This is why they'll go through what you go through, and you'll think, why haven't they learned their lesson? And that's because they block it out. They're like, nah, this is not what's really happening to me. I'm just going to go find someone else. If this person isn't going to give me what I want, I'll just go find someone else. I'm not going to let what people say should happen to me because they're just jealous of me. So you can tell people the outcome of their actions, but a lot of them don't think that their actions have any consequences because their imagination is constantly running wild, and their imagination is telling them, hey, I can just start over. Hey, I could just start over. And it's almost like a survival tactic, And this is why the behavior gets worse and worse and worse. And now it's like you're dealing with someone that, to them, they're right and you're wrong, And if you are around them, all they're going to do is either drive you into insanity or just, become angry with you, or you're just going to go along with their crazy stories. You're just going to go along with their crazy lies. You're just going to laugh at all their jokes. You're just going to go along with who they are. And you might not ever fully trust them. And the narcissist might respect you, but they know you don't fully trust them either. And they're like, one day you're going to put your guard down. They have hopes one day you're going to put your guard down. So basically, you're dealing with someone that their imagination is always running wild. And it's very dangerous because you never know where you stand with them. And you don't know the evil things because there's no empathy there. So when relationships end with these people, you have to almost be glad if you were able to get away without dealing with them, because when the relationship is over and you have kids or you're connected to them or you have ties to them, they're going to make sure that they put you through hell till you die. Basically, to them, it's like, I have to implant thoughts or a story or, to them, even if you heal, they have to make up lies and tell themselves that you didn't really heal, you didn't really grow from this, that you still miss them, you still love them. And a lot of times that's what keeps you stuck, is that you're believing them and you're thinking like them and you're playing the role exactly how they wanted you to play it. And the only reason you were able to stoop to such a low level in being manipulated in that way is because you never ran across these type of people that their magical thinking will run its course for years and months. You don't think that someone is capable of that, but that's what makes them a narcissist, is that they, there's no limit. There's no limit to the evil things that they say to you. There's no limit to the diabolical things that they could do to you. And, when they realize after the fact that their actions was wrong, they're not going to admit to it. If anything, they're going to project everything back onto you. They're going to say you wanted that. That's what you wanted. You liked it. If anything, you loved the abuse. They're like, nah, it was just a game. I thought we were playing. I thought we were enjoying the back and forth and all the crazy things, all the cheating, the pop-ups, all the weird stuff, the car accidents, someone keyed my car. I thought all that was fun to you. Hey, everyone likes a crazy storyline. Everyone likes, everyone likes a villain. Everyone likes a soap opera, a good soap opera, They pretend that like they're on some love and hip hop show. And then if you're the type of person that does watch those type of shows, they're going to say, I don't know what you're on. You must be on some love and hip hop stuff, or you're on some housewives stuff, you know. So this is why I say, if you don't know how these people think and you're doing things that you feel are harmless, like you feel like what you're dressing like or what you're watching on TV, you think certain things are harmless, you're going out to certain places that toxic men are at, and you're acting like you're one of the boys. If you're doing all of this stuff, then when they send a narcissist your way, to them it's like, you can't complain because you should have known what I was, you know. So they don't stop. They don't stop. There's no limit. These people will say things to you. They'll tell you to end your life. And then they'll act like it was just a joke, like they didn't really mean it, or they'll just recreate a lie and just say, I didn't even say that. If anything, they're the ones who said that to me, and I told them not to do it. Like, you'll think to yourself, you'll have thoughts about ending your life, but guess what? You're thinking sometimes, maybe if I wasn't here, all the narcissists in my life would feel remorse. No, they wouldn't. They would just recreate another lie. They would show up at your funeral with t-shirts, with prints on it, with your picture on there, and say that things weren't perfect between the two of you, but you cared about each other. You loved one another. They'll just recreate. Their imagination runs wild. They'll just think, they just do stuff spontaneously like that. They don't really think, they just do. And when they do think, it's calculated. So I hope that this message, you guys, was helpful for your healing, for your understanding on narcissist abuse and how the narcissist thinks, how the empath feels. They don't know how you feel. They know what they see. But they don't really care what you feel. If you guys are new, don't forget to subscribe. If you guys want to book a session with me, my booking information will be on the description. And as always, I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.